Here we go, boys. Hear the whistle, see the smoke. You about to be passed by a power stroke. Don't do this to me. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're diving right back into the 6.0 content. I can't wait to get this ripper fired up. So the last time you guys saw this truck, we pulled the heads, head gaskets were blown, heads actually turned out to be cracked, but not too bad. So today we're gonna go ahead and put this together. Let me show you guys the parts that we're using. Here we go. So we have our 6.0 heads. These got serviced at a local machine shop. And I don't know if this was the bad one. I think this one was okay. One of these had a crack. There it is. So it's got a crack between the exhaust valves here. It's got some cracks. It'll be okay. What I noticed about the 6.0 heads, they're a lot like 12 valves. They have a lot of these like micro cracks. They don't have valve seats, so you don't have to worry about them falling. These pressure tested okay, so we're just gonna run them. Again, guys, this is a short-lived solution. This is mostly just to get this ripper back up and running. But let me show you guys what other parts we're gonna be installing. We have a set of OptiTorque Torque Master head studs. One thing about the 6 liters is the head studs are actually quite long and honestly quite girthy if you ask me. And there is 20 of them. What makes these 6 liters so different than like a Cummins, in my opinion, is the finish torque on these is much higher. It is 200 foot-pounds. And the other thing is they share 4 per cylinder, whereas the Cummins has 6. Obviously, we got head gaskets. These are Molly. This is part number HS54579. This is your 20 millimeter head dowel. And what I mean by that is, let me find them. I know I've seen them. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Here they are. So in 06, Ford switched halfway through the year to a 20 millimeter dowel. So your earlier models have an 18. This is a 20. So we got that in. Obviously, we have our intake plenum gaskets, rocker box gaskets, exhaust manifold gaskets, all that good stuff. And here's our old parts. We are reusing the intake plenum for now. We're reusing the manifolds, the up pipes. I did get a new down pipe that we're putting in. So in addition, we're doing a MBRP down pipe, 3.5 inch. We have a new cold air intake from our friends over at SMB. And then we also picked up a SCT live wire tuner, which we're gonna play around with too. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this cab off with the help of Baron and Colby, get it up, and let's get to work. Okay, so we're prepping the surface, something I should have done, but honestly wasn't feeling it last night.
Just rather make me do it.
Razor blade, wire wheel. The big thing, guys, is not to use anything that's gonna remove a bunch of metal, like grinders, stuff like that. I have had good luck with those like crud busters from Snap-on. They usually do okay, or the equivalent. But anyway, we're gonna get this prepped. I'll show you guys the finished product, and then we're gonna start slapping some head gaskets on the old girl. All right, so we got our head surface prepped, wire wheel on a cordless drill after the razor blade action. Now we're gonna go ahead and put you guys on the time lapse, putting the head on. Okay, so we had our first fatality. Broken manifold bolt. Not a big deal. Well, you guys are going to notice, if you're familiar with the Cummins platform, they use the same tragic rocker box gasket that they use in the common rail rocker boxes that everyone screws up and has a bunch of oil leaks. So yeah, way to go Ford. We got the 6 owners club here. We even got our camera guy Irk. He actually doesn't work for us. He's a independent contractor, so we get to bully the ever living snot out of him.
We're gonna toss her on.
Just saying, I did it like a man bear. Dude, that is a pain in the butt to get that head on.
Okay.
And again, these are the OptiTorque studs. Got them all lubed.
I got both studs out.
Why?
Because I can't
the
get
manifold against the
the shock tower.
Ooh, take the L. And here, I'm gonna go ahead and put this side together. Just gorgeous. Just like that. Since they're a hydraulic lifter, there's no lash or anything, which is kind of cool. I find it easier on Cummins or Power Strokes to lube the studs and then do this. That way you don't make a mess. There he comes, studs. Murr's working on 12 valves.
Keep it real.
Hold on. Let's get you a little project update over here with our Lord and Fabricator, Shad. Versace.
What's up?
This is a single cab short bed abortion 12 valve. That was a budget build. On budget build.
Very budget.
On budget build. And check out this air filter, guys. This is how you get all the horsepower.
That is prime high quality. Right?
To be fair, look at it's already sucked it shut. See all these crinkles here? Either that was from Shad beating in from where it didn't fit, or when you turbo starts going, sucks the filter shut. But this thing, we'll have to do an episode on this Shad one day. We got the Red Baron over here, gonna show us the bridges.
The bridges.
Now these are very similar to your Cummins bridges, only they're flat. Are they directional, Bear?
No.
They are not directional.
Oh. Not that I know of.
You heard it here first, folks.
Not that I know of. But as you can see,
they are just like a Cummins bridge, though.
Yeah, they're oblong.
You guys will see one hole's oblong, one square, and that's to allow the bridge to flex a little bit and not wear on the valve guides. So we'll go ahead, get these dropped in here. Wow, that's getting really good at coming off, huh?
yeah, it is.
Now, if this was my Cummins, I'd put a little oil on there, but since this is a superior engine, we're just gonna send it dry. Okay, so passenger side head is torqued. OptiTorque said 200 foot-pounds. Mama didn't raise no quitter. 225 is where she be. I'll tell you what, it takes a man to turn these studs. There's a lot of foot-pounds.
Those two. Actually,
But there she is. Looking beautiful. Slowly starting to look like an engine again.
We can do.
The passenger side is now torqued. That last little bit at the end there's a line torque. I just backed down, make sure I didn't miss any. Baron is currently working on a regulated return. What this allows us to do is stop the fuel from deadheading at the injectors, making it extremely hot. So they say this not only helps the injector lifespan, but it also helps with horsepower because the fuel's not hot. So that is what we're doing. I will show you the finished product. Okay, so now we're gonna put the factory intake manifold back on. We got our gaskets laid out, and you guys see these lines here. This is part of the regulated. Does that go through it, do you think?
Don't know.
So this is a regulated return. Stay tuned. We'll actually have instructions for this here soon. My truck is the test truck, and Baron is much more patient than I am.
$89 inch-pounds.
I hear the click. Okay, we are gonna call it a night. Put about 4 hours in. Intake manifold's fully done. Regulated return is pretty much figured out. So we're gonna get some sleep and hit this tomorrow in the morning. Okay, so the guys are hard at work here while I'm at work. We got the valve covers tossed on here. We have the glow plug module, which is this right here. Look at me getting all technical.
Man, you're getting like, I didn't think you'd know what those were.
This is the thickum. Even our camera guy's getting his hands dirty. That looks a little tight, but whatever. We got our Power Max turbocharger put back on, and slowly but surely getting her put together. They're gonna put the final touches on our regulated return here. Get the up pipes in. Baron, make sure you change the down pipe out.
Man, aren't we getting demanding now?
And here we are. First sneak peek at a new product from PDD. Looking pretty swanky. Down pipe. Again, this is the MBRP 3.5 inch down pipe. Fit very nicely. Regulated return is now fully installed. Don't worry guys, we'll have a nice instructional video and a product release on Power Driven's YouTube channel. But I will be the test dummy. I promise you one thing guys, if it doesn't work, we'll find out here shortly. And slowly getting stuff buttoned up. We got a fresh AC compressor. The AC would work for like a half hour and then shut off. So we're gonna take a stab, throw more money at it. We have a fixed orifice tube, receiver dryer, couple other parts to throw in here and see if that fixes it. We're wondering if the compressor was coming apart and plugging itself. Just to hit on it really quick, all the Weston Champlin guys that have joined, welcome. Hope you guys stay for a while and enjoy this wonderful journey we're about to embark on with a 6.0. My favorite comment from the first video was definitely, it's a 6.0, so it's like a Netflix series. It's terrible, but you don't want to turn it off. That was a pretty good one. And yes, I do eat a ton of pizza. I'm also fat. Therefore, those two things kind of happen. And I enlisted the help of Baron here because Baron knows more about 6 liters. So I've simply been more observing. I've done some of the crustier cleanup jobs, things like that. But he is definitely the 6.0 whisperer. One of many upgrades is an S&B cold air intake. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Josh, you took off a perfectly good AFE one. Well, you'd be correct. However, I just really prefer S&B, and honestly, I ordered most of these parts before I even bought the truck. So yeah, we're gonna put this S&B on, and I will give you guys kind of my opinion. It's already looking pretty good with this rubber air dam that they add to the hood. That's kind of cool. Some ram air. And then of course, we went with the dry filter because oiled filters are absolutely useless in my opinion. Let's take a look and see how big this one is. Ooh, it's kind of a funky looking air filter. A lot of media on that. Interesting. So this is the S&B air filter for the 6.0 Power Stroke. A lot of metering. A lot of media. And getting the AC compressor, fresh belt tensioner, fresh belt. Okay, so we're working on the 6.0 and we went to Panda Express and I opened up my fortune cookie. Any doubts you have will soon disappear. I really hope they're talking about my doubts about making power with this rig. But you never know until you try. I now pronounce you cab and chassis. I'll see you in the next couple dyno pulls. Guys, just so we understand who works here and who doesn't, I have to work the camera. Baron is just my hands. I am the brain. S&B cold air intake. S&B cold air intake going in. It's got 2 alignment dowels on the bottom that sit in the battery tray holder. You just kind of gotta feel. There you go.
Just for Colby, he won't be able to find the holes.
Dang,
Wow.
he said you
Wow.
couldn't find holes.
Why we gotta go there?
Because you're the only one that doesn't have kids.
Hey.
By the way, ladies, if we have any new ladies to the channel, Colby, give us a smile.
There you go.
Dude,
You
this
see
guy-
this? You see this? All
That's a
six
six
pack
pack.
right there.
Look at them. Give them a flex, Colby.
No. No.
Let me see.
Can
Oh,
you make
dude,
it-
look
can
at
you
that
make it
dump.
nipples?
Look at that dumpy on you, dude.
Oh, man.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and fill this up with oil. We have the power-driven diesel, full synthetic, 15W30, and I guess on these 6 liters, synthetic is highly recommended.
I mean, that's what I run. Makes them start better in the winter. But it's more so the fact that the PDD oil has so much zinc and ZDP and stuff in it that it keeps the injectors alive. Since I've been running this, when I bought mine at 140, I started putting it at 160. I still haven't lost a set of injectors.
Interesting. I'm also going to put the stiction eliminator from hot shots in here as well, guys. So we'll get this put in and then we'll start adding coolant, right? So a lot of you guys are familiar with a Cummins. You would bleed the fuel system, crank it, get fuel squirt out, and then crank it down. What do we do on a Huey? And for those of you that don't know what Huey is, that's a hydraulically actuated electronic unit injection.
So on these, the way, instead of having to bleed the fuel system out, yes, there's still a minor bit of bleeding you have to do, but you have to bleed the oil rails out. When you do something like extreme as this, we've emptied probably 2-3 quarts out of the top end of this engine. And so we now need to get that whole system reprimed. And so that usually takes, what we usually do is something as extreme as this. We'll crank for 10 seconds, we'll let rest for 20, and then we'll do that about 10 to 15 times. Mostly me doing it so long, I can hear an audible pitch difference in the engine. But generally, if you do it 15 times, you're safe. But you can see here, we have a battery charger hooked up. These batteries are brand new, they're great. But this requires a lot of power, so make sure you've got a battery charger handy.
Perfect. Well, we got our 4 gallons of oil in, and let's go ahead and get her primed. Already sounds great. So now that we've finished cranking it, I did in fact hear the pitch change. However, I missed it on the camera. I apologize. We're gonna go ahead, get the fuel system bled out, and then fire her up, right, Bear?
Yep.
Okay, so we got that. The reason it died, we had some air bubbles in the oil, is what Baron was telling me. And now we're just figuring out why the vanes are open. You guys can kind of hear it. No turbo whistle. So, all in all though, not terrible. Got some fuel leaks, but we'll get it worked out. Here we go, boys. Hear the whistle, see the smoke. You about to be passed by a power stroke. Don't do this to me.
Count to 10. Start again.
That's not 10, but okay. Fire me up, brother! Okay, so we ran into a bit of a snag, full disclosure. The vanes are not actuating in this turbo, which is why it sounds so funny. It should have the nice whistle, and realistically, the only reason I bought a Power Stroke was for the whistle. So Colby's gonna go ahead and pull this apart and try to figure out why the vanes aren't engaging. We're gonna do this without pulling the cab, because we're straight savages, and I will update you guys once we get it off. And just like that, guys, Colby's came through. No alternator pull, no cab pull, turbo remove. Let's see why this was not making the noises. But we got the turbo roughly hooked up. Let's see if she makes the classic 6.0 whisper. Oh, it's already not looking good.
Oh.
Just kidding. Ready?
Hang on, he's got to hook the alternator up.
Oh, that's optional. It's an interesting noise. I don't hear a whistle.
It's not whistling.
Been a 6.0 owner for all about 4 days now. Fired her up, couldn't hear the whistle. We've been troubleshooting. Every time you unplug the exhaust back pressure sensor, the VGTs come up to like 50%. Idle's supposed to be like 70. Well, you plug it in, VGT drops to like 15%, which is wide open. So we have another 6.0 part. I grabbed the exhaust back pressure sensor off that one, plugged it in. Bear, can I fire it up for the people, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, and now we're back to the annoying 6.0 owner. Woo, boys! It is 2 in the morning and it feels good. Woo! Hot diggity damn. So you guys can see here what I was talking about. That's your VGT duty cycle. And before it was stuck at 15. And then when you give it throttle, it should open the vanes. Alright, so you guys kind of get that relationship. Well, that is looking at many things, but the problem that we had was right here. Exhaust back pressure. That was not, let me focus this, that was not reading at all. And now it's reading, which is why you hear that sweet, sweet, sweet 6.0 noise going on. Well, coolant's topped off, power steering, tranny. Let's get it, boys. Got the first rips going on. Still a stock 6 liter for the most part.
Still running
Let's try the old burnout, guys. So we went and beat on a little bit. Now it's time for the moment of truth. Well, I don't see anything alarming. What's cool is that regulated return's keeping our fuel pressure nice, 60. Let's crack the old cap here. Look at that. No oil, no gurgle. Head gasket seems to be holding on. I just got to get that new exhaust back pressure sensor, but all in all, certified ripper. Guys, check the coolant, check the oil, check power steering, check tranny, no more leaks. Test drive went good, coolant's not pressurized, exhaust back pressure sensor's working, so we'll just get another one of those from local hardware store. All in all, this was a serious undertaking. I definitely was not expecting that. Huge thank you to Barron, Colby, Meyer, Griff, Lawnon. Between all those guys over the last 3 days, we've gotten the cab ripped off, head gaskets replaced, new downpipe, studded, installed this S&B intake. We even got a regulated return. This is a prototype project from Power Driven Diesel. Griff was nice enough to give me a billet oil filter cap. We got new air conditioning, new coolant bottle. All in all, it looks good. We even cleaned it up a little bit under the hood here. Looking a lot nicer, no more coolant stains. But anyway, truck runs great, sounds great. I'm excited to start putting some horsepower to it now that we have the head gasket situation somewhat taken care of. Hopefully you guys like this video. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're not already. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next one.